This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSPORT Fan Network. TalkSPORT. Powered by fans.
Stalls with a save. To the second here. A classic counter-attack, and Gibbs White puts Nottingham Forest 2 ahead. Here's Wood. 1-0 Forest. To the goal. Has made an even bigger difference there. Nottingham Forest have snatched the lead at Anfield.
Hello, welcome back to Red Side Trent, here to discuss our exit off the third round of the FA Cup at the hands of Wrexham after a 3-3 draw. And then a penalty shootout, which kind of didn't go our way for once after last season's heroics in the FA Cup. Delighted to be joined by Reese Lane and Danny Tring. Reese, how are you, first of all, on this lovely Saturday morning?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, I've been up since 6:30. Can you tell I'm wired to the hills after getting in at 2 a.m? But yeah, no, it was worth it. It was a good trip, I thought. We'll get into it in a little bit. Danny, are you well this morning? Oh, hang on, you're on mute, pal.
So yeah, I'm good, mate. Yeah, very good, mate.
Good. Reese, just cap off, just like recap last night. Really, how did you feel? I know I don't want to throw you under the bus, but your quid's in. But did you enjoy it at least?
Yeah, it was. I mean, if you was a neutral watching it, God, you couldn't have got many better games of football, could you? Really, because it was a bit basketball-y, and it was actually a good game of football to watch as a purist. It's obviously we've going to a lower league side and we've been knocked out. You're obviously disappointed, but we'll get into more, more of the depths of it in a minute. But yeah, I wouldn't say like I come away from the game in terms of, because unfortunately with how the season's gone, the FA Cup's not a big priority for us. So I won't say I'd come away from the game absolutely devastated. You know what I mean? Like if, say, we lost the league game to, I don't know, in a few weeks to Leeds away, something like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, obviously disappointed to lose, but I wouldn't say devastated.
Yeah, Danny,
which is a shame in itself, really.
It is a shame because we've had to fob it off basically. Although we didn't, whatever. But Danny, how do you feel about it? Are you any different, or are you on the same page as Reese?
I'm exactly the same. It's like you say. I think you've struggled to find a Forest fan who's devastated that we've gone out. It's like you say, which is the sad thing, given we got to Wembley last year and most of us went and had an amazing day. But it's one of them, isn't it, from a neutral's point of view. If there's one team, given that Ryan Reynolds owns them in the Championship, you don't want to play, it's probably Wrexham at home, because it's like you say, it's the storyline. It is what it is. It's the Hollywood story, like Reese has mentioned in the chat. It's just one of them. It's a potential banana skin into it, which we've slipped on. But all in all, I'm not devastated. No, there's bigger fish to fry, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I mean, I come away with it from feeling like I enjoyed a game of football for a change. Like, and I know it was Forest, I know we lost, and I know the circumstances it's a lottery in the penalty shootout, but I just actually enjoyed going to watch my football team play and have a go in the second half, because we were abysmal that first half. Honestly, it was one of the worst displays I've seen for a while, and I mean we'll talk about half time because it was absolutely mental. But I'm just gonna say hello to the chat. Lewis Morris has put some dinosaurs in. I think that's a game at Deitch. Ultraflex, hello everyone. Car tips, 10 players minimum need to go. Bennett on the way to Dubai, so it'll be nice to forget Forest for a while. Not sure it will be possible, but Sun will help. Have a safe trip, Bennett, and enjoy. Tom Newton, absolutely gutless first half display. I agree with Danny's tweet regarding Deitch comments regarding the delivery. The sentiment was there, but you can't say those things in the public domain as bad as it was versus Chester. And added under Megson, the players were a disgrace. And El Morris, Danny was spot on with his tweet regarding Deitch. And Bennett again, Deitch interview was an error. These things should be done behind closed doors. So we'll talk about that at a point, but we'll get into the team. There was quite a lot of changes. I think eight changes. Sells kept his spot alongside Hutchinson and Jesus. I mean, Reese, why did Igor Jesus need to play yesterday? I have absolutely no idea. He looked shattered after the first half an hour.
Because we ain't got another striker, mate. That's the honest truth, isn't it? I just can't comprehend the decision to let Callum Owendo go out on loan. Fair enough if you don't fancy him, do it at the end of the window, because we've got 2 Europa League games as well. We can only use Jesus.
Calimundo got an assist last night against Dortmund.
Against Dortmund, Champions League side. I thought that was strange. I did expect Taro to start, but it clearly shows as well that he don't fancy him. So at the minute we've got one striker. We need someone else in that area, don't we? I mean, even if we do bring him in, I don't think they can play in the Europa League until the knockout. So, yeah, this is where we are, isn't it? Unfortunately, I mean, the team selection I didn't think was too bad. I thought it was a bit odd that he put McAtee in centre mid. I actually would have played Dominguez last night. I thought that would have been a perfect game for him, because he'd have set the tone in terms of his press, his energy, and when he come on, you actually seen him fly into tackles, because he was actually generally peed off, I think, as was Hudson-Odoi by his goals. So, yeah, there was enough on that pitch, mate, to win that game last night against a Championship side. Let's be honest. There might be fans who might not rate these players and that, but there was enough there to beat a Championship side. And to be honest, until Wrexham scored, it was pretty even, wasn't it? They weren't much in the game at all, and it was a handball, to be fair, from Douglas Luiz, the goal. But if we got that first goal, you kind of think we'd have probably gone on then. It was just strange that poor Tierney decided to look like he gave the goal. The away end celebrated, and then he was looking at his lino, and then decided to disallow it. Rightly so, to be fair. But yeah, until, like I said, until the goals, it was pretty even, and then we just fell apart, didn't we?
Yeah, but it turned into an absolute classic, as I thought it would be. I'm glad I got it. Danny, do you have any different opinion on that starting 11? Because I know we spoke just briefly before we started that the midfield was cut and dry, really. That like Wrexham just kind of bowled through us a lot of the time, because they just had no person to put a foot in, really. It was just a bit weird.
Yeah, no, like I said to you before we come on, McAtee's never been a 6. People say he was playing centre mid, he was playing as deepest as the 2. He's never been a 6. It's like, I'm not going to give McAtee like a get out of jail card, but know your players as a manager. It's like McAtee's never going. I know he's going to get fault for not putting his body on the line for that block, but he's never going to do that. That's just not what he does. It's like people can say, well, that's minimal. It's not minimal. There'll be certain players at top level football who don't do that, because managers don't put them in that position. So for me, he could have played in the 10. Like you say, had a start of Dominguez. Jesus is absolutely shattered, isn't he? I know it's like saying, yeah, but we ain't got another option. Just play Taiwo, like, just do it, because at the end of the day, he's absolutely tated, and Jesus wasn't effective. It cost us the second goal. Well, it was at fault for the second goal. Like, that's just tired legs at the end of the day. So I'd want to have started Jesus, because, like we've all said on here, has been struggling of late with like you say, just looking tired after 20 minutes. And onto the midfield, yeah, they were going through us. The minute Luiz gets turned, he don't look like he can get back. His legs have gone in that aspect. So tired on football, amazing. But the minute he gets turned, he's gone. But as I've said before, it's been happening in the first 11. The midfield has been non-existent. We've seen it at West Ham, who were basically turned into a bit of the whipping boys. Their second goal, knocked Gibbs White aside, brushed Anderson aside, in on goal, ball in, they score. We've seen it. There's a pattern coming into this team where the midfield has been non-existent. And this is a midfield, yeah, yesterday, I'm not dismissing it, they weren't good enough, but this is a midfield in the previous games with Elliot Anderson, who we're touting at, and he will go for probably £100 million, because that's just what happens in football. And Dominguez, who's before he got injured, was called up to the Argentinian team. So there's a massive tactically issue with the midfield positioning and how easy they're getting through. So yeah, they weren't great. It wasn't brilliant, but regarding the lineup, it's for me, it's a bit of know your players and give them a platform for them to succeed rather than hanging them out to dry.
Yeah. I mean, well, there was not a lot to shout about before the first goal, Reece, but we thought Paul Turney was going to give a free kick. I think if you watched I don't know if you've managed to watch any of the game back in the replay. I mean, it would have been soft if we'd got given that free kick because Amari Hutchinson's too weak. He's too naive. He gets the ball taken off him, and that Kakacha just puts it in the bottom corner, and it's a great strike. And you just think like, this is the start now because once one went in, two went in as well. But I mean, it's take nothing away from the lad. It's a great hit.
Yeah, it's not a foul. I have watched it back. The lads in the group chat were right, and I never disputed that. It's just that Tierney put the whistle to his mouth and looked like he was going to blow, and then all of a sudden pulled it away. And then you've obviously got a shot. It actually deflects as well off Morato, comes off his toe. But I think Sells would probably save it because it puts it right into the bottom corner away from him. Yeah, I mean, what can you say? There's probably got to be better attempts to block it from Morato and McAtee. But like Danny said, McAtee shouldn't really be blocking shots on edge of the box. He's not that type of player. You know what I mean? Gibbs White ain't going to be blocking shots on edge of his box. You know what I mean? Certain players have got certain roles you play to the strength. So, but that's not giving him a pass as well. But and then it's just a mentality issue, mate, isn't it? Because when you go 1-0 down, and then we even felt it in the away end, I just thought, a second's coming here. And yeah, I mean, there's a bit of a difference in mentality, isn't there, between the next 11 and the first time, because we conceded a stupid goal for the third, and then what did we do? We got down the other end and actually scored a really good goal. But I'm not blaming Darch for this at all, but it happens every season in the cup when you play a second string. Teams get knocked out, teams don't look as good. So you can't turn around and say he wasn't kind of expecting a drop off from the first 11, because that's why they're the second team, you know what I mean? So just disappointing. We kind of keep capitulating in certain instances, similar to West Ham when we conceded the second goal. Like Danny just said, Hardy ran through the team so easily after a mistake, and it was just disappointing, wasn't it? And to be fair, I know he's a young lad, and he's going to be a bit naive, but he keeps getting caught on the ball a bit too much, doesn't he, Hutchinson? I think that's 3 goals now. He's been kind of caught on the ball. Everton, West Ham, obviously the corner of the night, and then last night. So you've got to, make sure in certain areas you don't overplay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Danny, the second goal, I can't fathom how Ollie Rathbones got through and kind of bundled his way in. But I mean, we'll probably be scathing Morato later on in this pod, but he was, I don't know, Sunday League standards sometimes last night. He'd do something brilliant and then follow it up by something absolutely abysmal. And last night, the second goal kind of summed that up in a little bit, because he just let him run through him. I didn't understand it. I didn't get it. Like, even Cunha going down to the ground, who started off shaky, actually got better. But once that went in, I generally thought, I was like, if three's going in, I'm going home. And that's how it felt like it could have gone.
Yeah, I mean, I started from the first bit. I got Jesus has lost the ball.
Yeah.
He's got to look after the ball. Like, we can all praise him. I know people will say, he's isolated. He's got to look after the ball. He's a Premier League striker. Do you know what I mean? He's got to look after the football there, win a foul, win a throw-in. Just do what you'd expect a competent striker to do, like their striker were doing, busy. So he was isolated. Their striker were isolated. So that's at fault. Cunha, poor I like Cunha. I think he looks all right, but it was poor defending, just erratic, unsettled. And then Morato is just struggling, isn't he? It's poor defending. He's struggling. He's got caught. My issue with Morato, and I said this, and I used to have a similar gripe with Joe Worrell. I think he thinks the game's easier for him than it actually is. I think he plays. He doesn't go into tackles, and he does things in a way where he thinks he's comfortable. That, say for example, what he did it in the first half. He did a brilliant interception, and then just did a lazy pass backwards to put it. And it's almost like, well, I've done the easy bit. I've done the hard bit. The rest just comes, and it doesn't. That's not football, especially when you're a centre off. That's not football. There where a lot of the defenders will do the basics, the bit that the interception. It's what they do then with the time, when you've got time. And that's where you see your better players, like we say with Murillo. When he isn't in the team, you know the issue he had, because when he has time on the ball, he actually is comfortable with it. So I just think it's very lackadaisical at times. And he is struggling. It's poor defending. I mean, I might be harsh. I think Sal's it's not brilliant from him either. I don't think it's brilliant from him.
I thought.
Yeah, it's not brilliant from him. So I don't think it's like a howling, oh God, it's Morato's fault, that second goal. I think it's errors all over the pitch. And his was, like you say, notable. But it's one of them, once we always say it, and this is our issue with Darch at the minute, get players into the box with the ball at the feet. As a defender, you struggle. Do you know what I mean? We don't see it. We don't see any. When last time Anderson, we loved him for it last season. When last time you seen Anderson drive into a box?
Yeah.
Get at players. The only person that does it, I know we've been critical of him, is Hutchinson. He's the only person that drives into the box with the ball. So yeah, it's not good enough. It's poor. It's poor from Morato. He's not good enough. He isn't good enough. But, and people say, well, why is he getting picked then? It's because he's had a body of work under the previous regime, which were decent. We've all said he's done okay in Europe. Do you know what I mean? So he's just not good enough for he's not good enough, especially under Dyche. And I'll go back to it, and I've said this, you look at our starting 11 centre-halves, Milenkovic and Murillo were poor against West Ham. Poor, disjointed. So it's the same pattern. Do you know what I mean? This is my issue. It's like we all want people. There's a lazy narrative. Oh, that second string's not good enough. The first 11's been as bad. They've been as bad. Obviously, I know it's a better team they're playing in West Ham, but you could argue they might not be next season. If West Ham get relegated and Wrexham go up, then do you know what I mean? It's a different story. So there's a pattern where Milenkovic wasn't doing his basics. Murillo wasn't against West Ham. Cunha hasn't, but also Cunha's not played no football. It's hard for a young lad. He's only a young lad. And Morato, you know what? We're at the point now where we know what we're getting with him. It is Jekyll and Hyde. There's brilliance, and then there's absolute errors. And I go back to it. If you're going to put in Morato and Zinchenko, do you think they're going to succeed with McAtee in front of him as an older midfielder? Like, do you know what I mean? I know it's laughable, but it is laughable. That's where we're at. You're saying, right, you're almost just throwing him to the wolves. Do you know what I mean? Go on. Yeah. Just see what you can do with that. It's not good enough. I'm not by any means saying the players get away with it. I'm not. But what I'm saying is there's been a pattern coming through this whole team at the minute, especially in the last 7 games. And I just think he put a platform out there where he says he put him on a platform to thrive. I don't think he did. So, overall, mate, it was poor.
I think TC is in agreement with, in some sense. So he's put as a collective problem, players and managers' tactics. Funny how he shirks responsibility on a loss, but happy to take plaudits when we win. Everton warned us over and over. So, yeah. I mean, Reese, I don't think I've been part of an away end quite like that at half time. And I mean, you took a video. I did say, like, put it out on the socials, but I thought, actually, maybe in hindsight, what you said was probably right in not doing. But yeah, it was bad, wasn't it?
Yeah,
but they deserved really it. Bad. They deserved it in a sense.
Yeah. And it was at everyone, mate. It wasn't just at the players. It was at the staff as well. You know, when it gets like that, and unless your heads fell off, mine nowhere near fell off. To be fair, it's a horrible place to be, mate. No one wants it to be like that. You know, people booing, people jeering. You know what the FNL was being sung very loudly as well. It wasn't just a few. You know what I mean? There was a shout out in the first half where someone told McAtee to F off, which I actually, to be fair, people shouted out and actually said he'd been one of our better players. But you look on Twitter and he's getting absolutely caned. So who knows how he played? But but there's you know. So it ain't ideal, mate. But people are frustrated. That's the issue. You know, we can have all the stats and that put in front of us about points, totals, this. People are frustrated because of the performance levels, and the only teams we've beat in recent times are Utrecht, who champ side, West Ham, who are crap, and Wolves, who are crap, and then the teams around us who were looking to get to that probably next level, your Evertons and your Fulham at the time, we've been dreadful in. You know, look at Everton after we've lost 5-0 2 games to Everton. Never really looked like scoring in either. And then they've been thumped. I know they're playing well, Brentford, at the minute, but thumped by Brentford at home. What was it, 4-2?
Yeah.
And then even Wolves have gone there and got a point. And I think they had another poor result as well in that Everton. I think they got beat. Did they get beat by somebody else? I've got a feeling. So
I can't remember.
That's people's issues. It's not about, you know, we're just, you're looking at the performances at the minute and thinking short term / long term for this season. You're thinking, well, who do we kind of beat next? Because you're looking at how we're performing and think, well, we're not going to get out against Arsenal. Who's the game after that? Brentford away. They're flying at the minute. So you're thinking, well, that's another loss. Then Palace at home. I know Palace have dropped off at a minute, but Palace are a decent side, and they'll be up for it because of what's happened in the summer. So that's people's gripes at the minute. They're just not seeing the performances and giving you something where you're thinking, even if you're losing games, where you're thinking, well, I can see what we're kind of doing here. I can see some patterns of play. I can see like the players are really up for it. But, you know, we're not really seeing that overall, are we? Apart from, to be fair, when we changed it second half, I mean, he must have got into him at half time because, to be fair to the lads who come on at half time, you know, I thought Gibbs White grabbed game by scruff at neck, to be honest.
Which is what you want to see. You want to see them do that more often.
He needs to play angry. England international, mate. Yeah.
He needs to play more angry more often, I think.
Because he was always wanting the ball, trying to make things happen. And, you know, if you Phil Parkinson, you think, bloody hell, look at this. Like, he said it on the radio, didn't on the way in, the quality these are bringing on. Yeah. And you could see, and you could actively see that they'd put so much into that first half, Wrexham, that when you're against Premier League footballers who are a bit quicker, agility-wise are better, probably fitter, they just started to look tired, and that's why we got back in the game, really. And to be honest, if we wouldn't have conceded the stupid set piece in the second half, we would have won, mate, second half. And if we would have actually pushed more in extra time and after we'd equalised in normal time, I think we would have won the game, mate, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, just talk briefly about the header, because I think it's a well-worked move. It's a great cross from Savona, like just like on the money, what Jesus kind of wants, and he's lacked that kind of service for a lot of this season. But it's a great header, and then we're back in the game. But I mean, I'll get to Danny about us shooting ourselves in the foot from a set piece, but it's a shame that he's just so knackered, because it's like if you can give him that sort of service, you'll score so many more goals.
Yeah, he hung it up into a great area, didn't he, Savona? Just hung it up to back stick. And it's like one of them as a centre forward, you're thinking, right, if I can get a jump on my man here, because I've got a yard behind him to get above him. And that's what Jesus did, gets above him and turns it in. I mean, I didn't think Porter were going to give that as well. It were miles over the line. He was hesitant with that, wasn't he? But yeah. And then once we got back in the game, I just thought, yeah, I see us getting something here. I did, because it was one-way traffic, wasn't it, then, really? The only thing I was concerned about is what happened. We give away a set piece and we can see the goal from it. Yeah. So, but I'll let Danny chat about that one.
I mean, Danny, like when Dyche come in, there was a bit in the statement that says defensively solid from set pieces and good at attacking set pieces, and I've seen none of that. And that showed even last night. I mean, it's a great ball in from George Dobson. I thought he was the best player on the park for Wrexham last night. I thought he was really, really tidy, really good player. Put it on the money, and Dom Himes, free header. There were so many free headers last night. It was unbelievable. And credit to him, he pops it in, and I just thought, well, that's game over then. Obviously, it all pandemonium kicked off after that. It was a great end to the game, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, quickly, I'll touch on like what Reece was saying, is also with like recent performances, we all praise the Man City result performance. They've not won a game since, I don't think. I don't think they've won a game since they beat us. I think they drew to Sunderland, drew to Chelsea, drew to Brighton. So,
Well, Brighton and
that's,
Bournemouth were similar, weren't they? They were struggling. I know Bournemouth for one now, but they were struggling for wins after us as well.
So,
They played us off the park, them two.
Exactly. So, but yeah, on to that. Yeah, the second goal, I mean, it's a brilliant ball. It's an absolute brilliant ball. There's a saying in football: if you put a cross in that, that's like undefendable. That's one of them, and it's very. I know this. I don't want this to sound degrading, but it's very championship, isn't it? A cracking ball into a box and a big centre half onto header. Like, that's what you get. Yeah, the marking's poor. I mean, I think it was Igor's man. Looking at the replay, it's Jesus and man. So he's got wrong side of him, Antti, and is basically just bigger and stronger than him. And much like Igor for his goal, he's done it to him. So yeah, it's poor. Defensively, we set pieces. I haven't seen no improvement at all, which is another reason why I don't like Dyche.
I've got to fearing him on major.
Yeah,
that one's under Cooper.
Yeah,
scared.
It's like Ange got critique for it. Oh, he's not even working on set pieces yet. We put a statement out that Dyche is going to fix that, and I won't say we look any better. I'd say we look exactly the same. I don't think, and I think attacking set pieces, we look worse under Dyche than we did under Ange. Worse. This new thing, what Milenkovic, where he's basically marking a keeper. I'm like, when he's 6 foot, what is he, 6'5"? Try stopping him when he's attacking a ball. He's in a position where he can't attack a ball. You're putting him in just basically as a disruptor, but he's just probably your strongest header, if that's a word. And but no, it's poor, but it's what we expect, isn't it? That's like you say, that's where we are. As soon as that foul got given, you're thinking, oh, we'll do well. We're now at the point where it's like, we'll do well if we don't concede here. That's where we are, aren't we, when it comes to set pieces? And like you say, I mean, we replied well, but I don't necessarily think if they want to add that chance, we would have gone on and won, because I think Windass has missed an absolute sitter. There's a free header that he misses about 10 minutes later, where I think it's the same lad who puts an unbelievable ball in, and he's just gone with his foot rather than attacking it with his head. So that was. It was, like you said, it's a basketball game, wasn't it? It wasn't really controlled. It was just a proper FA Cup tie, which, as a neutral, tuning in, it's nice, isn't it? If you're the team who's been absolutely woeful for 2 months and you've gotten out to a lesser opposition, it's hard to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just talk us about the second goal that we scored, Danny, because I think it's mad how quick it comes, but it's another really well worked goal. Hutchinson down the line, cut back, and I mean it bobbles in front of Callum Hudson-Odoi, and he does extremely well to get over that and put that in the bottom corner. And he looked right up for it yesterday. I think the lads who, like Larry said, the lads who came on yesterday, they went out and proved a point. Personally, I thought.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I mean, but I'm not surprised. I've said it recent weeks with Gibbs White. Looks like it's hurting him. Maybe it's hurting him because it's from a personal level. He's thinking, I've got zero chance getting an England squad if we're fighting relegation. It's like he almost got in, didn't he, on the basis of how well we did last year. It was almost you can't ignore a team. You can't ignore a team that's seventh, well, basically top four, won't we, for the majority of the season, and him being one of our talisman. You can't ignore him. Whereas you can now. You can ignore him when you're 17th and you're struggling against 18th and you're getting smashed all over park against Everton, and they've got an English lad in midfield. So I think it's hurting him. I don't. For 1 minute, I'm not surprised. He's got that in him. He's got that. His level's above Championship. Levels above it. Same as Nico Dominguez. He was levels above when he come on. He was. But this. I know we say they're tired, but they've got football in their legs. Do you know what I mean? It's easy to come into a game. We see it. We've seen it last year with Danilo. It needed games for him to be sharp. It's like they're coming in and they're ready to go. The match fit. Same as Hudson-Odoi. It's hard when you've not played football to expect them to go out and rip it up. It is, especially like you say in the FA Cup tie, because you see it all over. You'll see it. There'll be a bigger shot than ours this weekend. But on Hudson-Odoi, on the goal, I've not seen a fullbacks overlap or that movement since Dyche's come in, so I don't know where that come from, because it was like an overlap run, which then he could then find space, cut to the byline. I've not seen that ball, but the finish is class. But I'm not surprised. I've said it many times. He's got the best technique I've seen at Forest. His first touch is ridiculous. His ability to just make things out of elite. I mean, you'll go on to it, the last goal. It's elite level football. It's not just it's not a good Premier League footballer. He's got absolute magic in his boots. We know he has. That's why fans that are critical of him, and then you get fans who back him. The reason they back him is because he's got that magic. He's got that magic. Granted, he needs to do it more often, but he is levels above him. It's like you look at Undoy and Bakwa, and I know Hutchinson's going to get a lot of stick, but he's been better of the three. He has been the better of the three, Undoy and Bakwa. I mean, he got an assist last night. It's like he has been the better of the three. Them two, Undoy and Bakwa, they're showing nothing, are they? At the minute, they're showing nothing. But then I go back to it: are they on a platform where they can succeed? Are they getting the belief from a manager that unless they go out and rip it up, they're going to have a chance? I don't believe they are. I believe they're probably playing under pressure where they can't make any mistakes, otherwise you're getting dragged at half time. And it's hard. It's hard. How can you succeed at that? You can't. And granted, it's not been great. They've not been great. They haven't. But also, I just don't think the platform's there. So, but on the positive, it's just class from Hudson-Odoi. It's class.
Yeah.
We all know what he's got about him. It's a brilliant build-up, great finish, and like when it gets pulled back to him, I'd fancy. It's like that's my gripe a bit with Igor. I don't fancy Igor there. I fancy Hudson-Odoi though in them positions. Or like say, awkward finish.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
it's class.
I hope he can get into them areas a little bit more, because the more times he gets a chance to shoot, he will probably score more goals. And I mean, it's told from the second goal that he scored, Reece, because I mean, Savona playing as the playmaker at right back, it's a peach of a ball to him on his chest. And do you know what? If you watch the replay, and Mason will enjoy that I've mentioned this if he listens to this, but he's that good. He's had a look as the ball is in the air off his chest at the goalkeeper before he shoots. That's what like Danny's talking about in terms of elite. He's a sicko for doing that, and then he just like instep volley top corner, and it looks. You turned to me and went, he made that look so easy, and it did look so easy.
Yeah, I think just to touch on our second goal as well, it's nice to see him getting in the box more. It's something that he needs to do more from that back post when it comes across. I do think sometimes it is a bit of an issue with us that as wingers just stay as wingers and they don't kind of box crash at that back post. So for him to get into a position where he got a shooting opportunity and like Danny said, took it really well. I mean, something we didn't mention as well, just to go back to it, first off, it should have been 3-0 to them. You know, they had a one-on-one clean through with the whole half to run into him. Thankfully, Sells kept us in the tie there, didn't he? And then also just to touch on, like Danny's saying, with Morgan Gibbs-White, with the England thing, why he's annoyed. I mean, when we beat Ipswich away and he'd not got in the squad at the time, we were third then, and he's not getting in the squad then. So what chance has he got when we're 17th? He's got no chance, has he? Let's be honest. That's probably why he's kind of taking it on with a scruff of neck. It was obviously on telly as well, you know, the main game last night. So Tuchel might have been watching, who knows. But yeah, going back to the equaliser, yeah, world class, that finish. Just absolutely world class. To just drop it on your chest and then just, it kind of lifted it just away from Okonkwo, didn't he? Yeah, what a finish. And like, I just couldn't believe how easy he made that look, because that was vastly difficult. I don't think you could imagine any other player on our side making a finish look that easy, and probably even scoring that. And at the stage of the game it was as well, 89th minute, wasn't it? I think it was. So yeah.
We ain't got one. We ain't got a player that could do that.
I mean, when you look at some of the winger, couldn't like in Doyle last night, couldn't even trap a ball at times, could he? So yeah, once we got level, mate, I actually thought we'd go on and win the game, to be honest. I actually felt we'd probably either score in injury time or we'd score in extra time, but I just didn't think we pushed enough, to be honest. I thought in injury time, in extra time, they were actually pretty sat back. And I actually felt that we should have just got at that side when they had McLean more, because he's knocking on and he's against a really tricky young winger. You've got Nico Williams on that side at the time as well, who's, a really good Premier League fullback. So I was just disappointed we didn't really test the keeper a bit more in extra time, because I felt...
Yeah, really had the one effort.
I thought that was a real good opportunity to close the game out, to be honest. And actually, I felt had we got ahead in extra time, I think we'd have probably got another, because they would have probably pushed and we'd have probably won like 5-3. But once it went to penalties, mate, I actually fancied them. It's just some things write themselves, don't they? All this Hollywood stuff and that. I've watched the Welcome to Wrexham series and I really enjoyed it, to be fair. I mean, God, it's not a fairy tale story, but it's a great story from where they've come from. They've invested in the community and that. So it had a Hollywood ending for them, didn't it?
I mean, the only effort we had was that Hutchinson one, that the most meaningful one, and Akwanko.
Yeah, and you'd be very disappointed if your goalkeeper let that in at the near post, wouldn't you? I know he spilt it a little bit, but if Sells would have spilt that and he'd have dribbled in, would have been fuming. So
absolutely.
Yeah, bit disappointing really in extra time for me.
Yeah, I mean, we enjoyed ourselves with going in the turf, and we seen the Wayne the landlord there and stuff, and we enjoyed, and like Wrexham fans were quite friendly with everything, and apart from the
one told me he was going to
smash
us. Yeah, I says tell me something I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, just to sum it up, Danny, I know we don't need to really talk about the penalties in too much detail or anything, but like, are you partly glad that we've got that one less game to play now, especially with how busy our schedule's this month anyway?
No, I'd never be glad to lose a game of football. I wouldn't. It's like, it's one of them. If you go on and win that, winning always breeds momentum and positivity, doesn't it? I get the issue with the fixtures, but then just play the lads that aren't playing. Do you know what I mean? It's easy. It's simple. It's simple as that. I know people will say, yeah, well, they didn't perform last night, but just keep playing them. We've got... I don't buy this. The squad's not big enough. It is. It's just it's not being used right. So for me, I'd like to progress. Yeah, I'm not. But I've said before, I'm not devastated. I'm not. It's not. If you'd offered me drawing at West Ham or beating Wrexham, I'd have took. Drawing Wrexham. Winning at West Ham and beating Wrexham, I'd have took beating West Ham and going out to Wrexham. That's where we need to be now. But and on the penalties, I've got no gripe with anyone who's took a penalty for Forest at all. It takes a big pair of knackers to step up and take one. None of them missed the target. 2 good saves from the keeper. And yeah, if anyone's got an issue with someone taking a penalty, I'd like to see you put yourself in their shoes. I said the same last year. I'll never ever bash anyone for missing a penalty in a shootout. Never, because the best players in the world do it. Best players in the world miss penalties in shootouts. So
yeah, cool. Well, before we move on, we'll do some sponsors and we'll do some shout outs. Obviously, go through some slept on it thoughts as well. So I'm going to do Vesta Blinds first of all. That's our friends at Vesta Blinds. So stylish, high quality, made to measure blinds and shutters at a great price. Give your home the perfect finishing touch with stunning, expertly fitted window coverings from Vesta Blinds. VestaBlinds.com to get in touch. So that is them. And then we've got TrentSideThreads.co.uk. Use RSOT for 10% off. Lots of t-shirts on there, lots of hoodies, jumpers, and all that good stuff. So thank you very much for them guys who are sponsoring us. I'm going to go through some comments before we do some slept on it thoughts. So Graham has put, let me get rid of this. Oh my goodness, I'm having them there, guys. He's put Dyche played the same at Burnley and Everton, which means he either does not know he is making a mistake or he does not care he is making the same mistake over and over. Carol, we will get relegated at this rate from next Saturday. God help us. Where's the next win in the Prem? Colin, maybe it's a good thing we're out the FA Cup, cost us Champions League last season. We need to focus on the league. TC, we need to focus on the league. It's all for the wrong reasons, unfortunately. Your dad's chimed in. Danny Murillo should have taken a Penno, best striker of the ball at the club. I mean, there was a bit where he was at left back. He absolutely destroyed Lewis O'Brien, sent him in for a hot dog, and then played an unbelievable channel ball. Defense split into Taiwo, and then you realised it was Taiwo running onto it. No offense, Danny. Sorry, mate, but it's one of them. But we're going to do some of your slept on it thoughts.
Red side of the Trent. Slept on it thoughts.
Thank you very much for everyone that's got in touch. Lewis Morris, the thing is, the whole negative lumping it up to a striker and hoping something drops may have worked at Everton or Burnley, but we are not a club that it looked like. Not that club. It looked like second half players like Morgan Gibbs-White were playing annoyed, and it took them upon themselves to actually play football, and he's called him a dinosaur. And then Lewis also, I had Sean Dyche throwing them under the bus. Yes, they were abysmal, but he gives them no mins, throws them in and expects them to get going straight away. It's his job to get a tune out of them. They're good players. His football is shocking. Don't suit us. Just hope for magic will cross it. Insanity. Bradshaw, Dyche out. We set up with no clue again. Morgan Gibbs-White takes the game by the scruff of the neck and ignores his way of playing. Look 10 times better. Rob, players regressing under a manager that has no tactics or plans for games, who trains them, takes the set piece training, defending and attacking. No other team in the Prem would have had him as manager. No knowledge or ability for a squad who should be much better than this. And then Christian, sack him. Gaspar as well. Mark Baker, Dyche out. Binnett. It's nothing happening with Dyche. It's just not happening with Dyche. It's all, not all of his fault, but it was his sentimental appointment. He will keep us up in the Prem, but longer term plans desperately needed. Johnny Antcliffe, we can't trust or back our players. Morata was disgustingly bad. Wake me up in August. Done with this season. Capanossi in function. 7 transfer windows in the Premier League, and still there are barely 11 first team players that can be relied on. Ben, would we have taken this position when Dyche took over? Yes. Am I too sad about being out of the cup whilst in Europa? No. Are there serious questions about summer recruitment now? I do. First half was beyond embarrassing from the way end. Morgan Gibbs-White led as a captain, second half excellently, and then Christ, this is a sack Dyche. So thank you very much for everyone getting in touch. I know we've had all of our opinion, and there's a lot of things being said about the management. I know, Danny, you're very much Dyche out. Christian was even like Dyche out, even though we won on Tuesday. I don't really know where we go from here. I mean, we spoke quite a lot, and Reece put a really good point together that Sirianos needs to go and identify a manager, and we need to get players in that are going to suit that system and actually have a project in place. But kind of got to stick with him, I guess, till the end of the season, because I don't think we're going to be able to do that until the season's gone. Really, I mean, what do you think, Danny?
Well, you know what I think.
Well, I'm just wondering, if we did get rid of him, are you? I know we talked about, do we go internal or do you get another coach?
I genuinely think he has zero impact on positive results. Genuinely think he has zero. The reason we get good results against good teams is because the players are competent and they up the game because they're playing against players. The way they need a bit of tactical nous. We'll touch on it. You can see it, right? So Wrexham yesterday, first half were abysmal. Second half, we've come on a bit of impetus. We've played a bit of football we've not seen. We've took the game to him. And then comes a classic basketball FA Cup tie. So both teams are attacking. Go into extra time, reset it. They sit back. We don't create a chance of any decent opportunity for half an hour against a championship team that's played 90 minutes. We can't create against them because you need a bit of tactical nous, a manager to maybe come up with something, see something that you'd expect a Premier League manager. I mean, Paul Parkinson was brought in at League Two, wasn't he? Was he brought in at League Two?
Non-league.
Non-league.
They got him at
all the way through.
Yeah. So I think he has zero impact on positive results. I don't think the players play for him. I don't think they enjoy playing for him. So for me, if you're going to sack him in the summer, why wait? because they're going to know, players are going to know he's going in the summer. Like you'll struggle to find a fan. You might find the odd one that thinks he gets pre-season. What are we doing? It's like, what you're going to say to the players? Or if they don't buy, look at Callum Owendo. It's probably I don't want to play for this bloke to get me out, and it's to the point where he doesn't want to play for him because he has zero opportunity, and he's probably forced the move and left us in a bit of up shit creek without a paddle because, like you say, we've got to play Igor every game. He's then gone, and I know it's German league, but like it's Championship League opposition, gone and done well in his first minutes of playing football because we've obviously identified a good footballer. We go on James McAtee. Only, I think it was Brighton with the last chance he got to come on in the Premier League with players, and we all said how well he did. He's not kicked a ball since, really, of any purpose, except for yesterday which is what, probably a month since Brighton, is it? Same for Callum Owendo, who come on and had a couple of chances in that, got 3 minutes at Fulham, was it? So I think he has zero impact on positive results. With 7 points clear, we've got a buffer. Yeah, he has got us out that. For me, he's done his job. Now it's going to go stale, and it's going to go stale quick. And I don't know if we'll touch on it. His interview was a disgrace, absolute disgrace. He's just threw under the bus, took no responsibility, threw players under the bus who are coming in out the cold. These are players that'll be friends with certain players as well. I said it, like you've got Elliot Anderson, who was well publicised about McAtee ringing him every day. Are you coming? Are you coming? Are you coming? What's he going to think? It's like his mate's been absolutely thrown under the bus. And what'll happen is, I guarantee the next time he comes on the pitch, there'll be fans booing him in the ground. And that's because a manager's put a message across that this player don't, in his words, don't try and train him. I'm getting him a chance. He'll not be getting another chance. As good as said, is done with me. Is done for me. So if that's where a manager's saying things like that, it's going to end one way or another. So,
which is so polarizing from the article from John Percy where he said they really like McAtee.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy, and you wouldn't have seen it with Nuno. You wouldn't have. He'd never have come out and said that. You wouldn't. It's like it's dated. Throwing players under the bus this day and age, it's done. Do you know what I mean? It's done. You've seen it with Amarin. He did it with certain like Garnacho and even Rashford, didn't he? And he moved them on. These players aren't behaving like that. They're not behaving like that. They're not going on and putting posts about the manager and basically looking like a bad egg. And like I said, Gibbs White scored against West Ham. First person up to him going mad with McAtee. They're not. I don't get this impression that he are just tossing it off. I don't. I just imagine they've got. This is McAtee who's come through Man City. Pep Guardiola, touted one of the best managers ever to manage football teams. He's gone from his training sessions to Sean Dyche's training sessions, right? And we laugh, but I excuse him for not being infused. I excuse him for it because it looks like none of them are. And I don't even think, like you say, we love Elliot Anderson. He's been poor under Dyche. He has. He's been poor. It's gone so downhill under him, and it's because he's being told to just stifle his game. He's stifled everyone's game. No one's improved under him. And I said it about Sangare. People say, well, Sangare, he hasn't. He's been our best player since April. I think there was a tweet. Henry Winter put a tweet out when he played against Chelsea when we lost. Says it one of the best 6 displays he's seen in Premier League this season at Chelsea when we lost that last game. Henry Winter, who's an impartial, well-respected journalist in football in England. So he's got to go. I can't get behind any thought of him staying. I don't care if we had sacked 10 managers. It don't bother me. I couldn't care what other fans think. Like, I just think it's at a point where he's done at this club. He's done his job. He's done. I don't think he's tactically good enough. I don't think he affects any games in a positive way, only a negative way. And I don't believe the players think he's good enough. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I just personally can't see us getting rid of him, and then I just don't see us getting another manager in permanently that where you could start the project now. I just think that we still look like a basket case. Do you know what I mean? As well, I get what you're saying. I just don't know what the next step would be until the summer, unfortunately, because that's.
But
just
we
how...
could get a manager in and have a go at Europe. Do you know what I mean? We won't win Europe with Sean Dyche as manager. We won't. We've got a chance of winning it. Do you know what I mean? So you say that, but there's a project. There's a 6-month project for someone where they could go and win the Europa League.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? There's a 6-month project there for him. Like it's not like it's just survival. We're 7 points clear. This team will stay up. I'm guaranteed whether Dyche is here or it win because they're 7 points clear.
I don't know if Reece will agree with this, but I think you touched on it, Danny. I think if we're going to stay up, it's going to be on the players because I think in the West Ham game, I think we started to ignore what Dyche was telling them because we weren't putting in crosses just willy nilly. We was actually thinking about it a little bit. I mean, I don't know what you think, Reece.
Yeah, so I mean, I watched the interview when I got home last night. To be fair to him, I mean, just for balance, he did say he'd actually sub himself, which is a concern in itself, really. So he's basically saying he's picked the wrong team. Then, has he? Is that what he's saying? If he's saying he's subbed himself, or he's picked players in the wrong positions, like Danny said, that's a concern in itself, I guess. I actually have no issue with what he said in terms of the performance. It was unacceptable to be 2-0 down and crumble to a Championship side first half. Is unacceptable as a Premier League club. No problem with that at all. Fair enough. Not an issue, but the knocking on the door thing, don't tell the media that. The media don't need to know that. You're seeing it on the clip. It was the headline. It's just giving him a headline. And I get he's frustrated. We're all frustrated. And we're all paying his money as fans in, poor conditions coming up yesterday and getting home at, early hours in the morning. But you just don't need to say that to the media, in my opinion. The less you tell the media, the better. And I know, like, sometimes we got annoyed with Nuno because he was a bit cold with the media, but he gave them nothing, did he? He gave them nothing to cling on to. And I think that's how I kind of like a manager to be honest. I mean, you've seen it recently. Amarim starts spouting off in the media. He gets the bullet. Maresca starts spouting off in the media with stuff. He resigns. And so because the British media, mate, they'll run with anything. So I just don't think he needs to do that. But like I said, no problem with him saying the performance was unacceptable. Getting on to McAtee, I mean, Jesus. I mean, what's he played? 6 games in 6 months. So what we're saying, one game a month. I mean, what footballer is going to get going with 1 game a month? I mean, if I play today and then I don't play for another month, I'll think that when I play again in another month's time, I'll think, God, I'm a bit rusty. But when you're playing it consistently week in, week out, you think, well, I'm starting to feel a bit better, starting to feel a bit sharper. But when you're getting odd minutes, and then like Danny said, oh yeah, if you don't perform here, that's it. And and fans are guilty of that as well. Like I've seen fans saying, "Oh, he's had more than enough chances. He's had more than enough chances." Like he's played half a dozen games in 6 months, and we're saying that's with no consistent run as well of game time, and we're saying that's it. But that's the story of the season, isn't it, with the recruitment? And I guess my worry with McAtee is, Danny made me laugh with his comment about Pep to Dyche, is because he's been coaching that Pep system. Can he kind of go out to another team and where it's a different system like with us? We're not going to keep a lot of the ball. Can he kind of be integrated in our system? So, I mean, he's not going to use him, is he? I think he's probably... It was clearly aimed at him as well because Zinchenko and Backward played recently and made starts. So it's clearly him, isn't it? In my opinion, that is aiming that at. I mean, if Dyche is going to be here, you may as well say to the lad, yeah, go out and get some game time and come back in the summer because there's no point in him. Like Danny said again as well, getting the odd 10 minutes and fans are like, if you don't come on for 10 minutes and produce a 10 out of 10 performance, it's like, oh, it's crap. So,
I mean, we were speaking last night, Reece, about if we change formation, because if we lost certain players and everything, about having like Sangare as your 6, you get a backup 6, and then having 2 dynamic 8s. And we looked at McAtee, and on the ball, he's obviously a very, very good player, very tidy. We were like, he looks really good. He plays some
yeah.
really nice passes, and then
I
like,
mean, me
like
and you
what
must have been watching a different game because I thought it was okay. I thought it was trying to show for the ball.
Me as well.
Yeah, I didn't. If, like you said, Danny, if we're asking him when he's a number 10 to basically say stick your body in front of the ball and defend, and that's not his role, is it? You know what I mean? It's like when you've got a striker like we had with Chris Wood, with Cooper, when you're pumping the ball into the channel for him and he can't run, you're not going to get out of him.
Yeah.
So I thought he was showing for the ball. I didn't think he was God, Twitter, Jesus. I mean, it was like you're talking Bong Charlton level performance. I didn't think he was that bad. Jesus, I thought he was okay. And I'm not also saying he was good as well. I just probably 6 out of 10 personally.
It just didn't warrant. It didn't warrant the treatment he got, did he? That's what I'm saying.
And he's dragged him off twice now at half time, hasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, and
so
I think that's the thing. It's not necessarily, none of us are here saying he's a world beater. It's just he's a young lad, and the treatment of him, just his performance last night for me didn't warrant what a manager's done.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, I mean, but
go on.
The thing is, Adam, we're going to have this podcast for the rest of the season. It's going to be the same old tune. It'll be the same on other podcasts as well. It's been an absolute mess of a season. We're going to be, I think, frustrated probably every week, to be honest.
Even when we win.
The recruitment's getting bashed, and Edu's obviously the scapegoat for it. And he's getting. I'm seeing people linking with players who, to be fair, in my opinion, got Siriano's fingerprints all over you backwards, your Calamuendos, probably McAtee and Doy. I don't think the Edu signings for me are like your Zinchenko's, your Douglas Luiz's, them type of players. We were like bigger name players.
Yeah.
Who we kind of know. Premier League proven players, as crap as Zinchenko's been. But we're just going to have the same every single week, mate. It's just frustration.
Up and down,
yeah.
Like I said, I just want us to keep chipping away because that's just what we've got to do.
Just to touch on the recruitment as well, right? They've had 3 managers in 6 months, all telling them different stuff. And I've said this on the last podcast, and they're not in a settled team. They're not in an environment where it's like, as a young player, it's straight on and straight away, that pressure. Like, you've got to go out and perform. Whereas, like, we had like a Lang who kind of built himself up over a couple of seasons. Nico Williams built himself up over a few seasons. First season, Nico Williams was crap, in my opinion. But he's built himself up now where we're looking at him and think, he's our most consistent player. We can rely on him every week. He's built himself up. And that's what happens with young players. You can't say after 6 months we've seen him half a dozen times and thinking, we need to discard him, because you can't do that in a business sense as well, because you'll be making losses on every single player and you'll be in PSR trouble. So with some of these players, unless we get deals like Calamuendo where Frankfurt have come in and given us his money back, then some players have got to kind of be stuck with, really. And this is where, like we said, I'm just hoping we can stay in the league, but there needs to be a massive reset in the summer, mate, structurally across the board. It's just such a shame, really, that I think, like Danny touched on it, that Europa League is going to get lost in it, because I just look at them 2 games, like with Braga and Ferencváros, they're both in the top 8, and we're going there with 1 striker. And then I seen a comment on Twitter like, it don't matter, we can play like Gibbs White as a false 9. Like, what in a Dyche team? Come on, like you want to go to that, like, because I want to finish in that top 8, and then you're thinking, right, we've avoided another 2 games, and I just don't think we will.
Yeah,
but because we
can't
even get another striker in terms of the Europa League. Some of the decision making from the club as a whole, mate, has been utterly bizarre this season. This is why we're in this mess.
Definitely. Just some comments to go through. Car Tips has put, Billy Davis would fix it all. I'm sure he would, to be fair. I'm not going to lie. Daniel Hall, our season was screwed up with Ange. He is there to keep us up. Don't care about FA Cup as long as we stay up. We need a complete reset next season. Graham has put, Dyche lost me at 52 crosses in 1 game. He is effing clueless. And TC, if McAtee can't adjust to different systems, though, that's kind of effective for, I suppose, pro and a lot of money, it has to be said. But then he followed it up saying, being asked to play a different position, I'll give you that, stupid, from Dyche.
But also, he's had 3 managers ask him to do different things. This is what I mean. Like, it's not like he's coming. I get the gentleman's point, but it's not like he's coming to a settled team and he knows what he's doing. Every player we've recruited, everyone's pretty much saying, "Oh yeah, they're crap."
The only one who's managed to actually get consistent game time is Jesus and Savona.
Yeah, and Savona probably is the fortunate because Arne got injured. Otherwise, we wouldn't have seen him much.
And he's
been the same,
and he's been called all season.
Yeah, and he's been all right. He's actually been quite productive from right back. Really, he got 2 assists last night. He's had 2 Premier League goals, a couple of assists.
He's not a bad player.
He's a backup right back, isn't he? You're not going to have Kyle Walker regen sat on bench, are you? Let's be honest. Arne's a great right back. You're going to have someone who's inferior to him, hence why they're a backup.
I mean,
he has a goal against Liverpool and Man United. Yeah. Like I said, he scored more goals than Igor Jesus in Premier League. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that with Arne back, and then hopefully, I mean, we're all. I don't wish a team to lose or anything, unless it's like team I really hate or whatever, or a team where we need points and we need them not to win or whatever. But I really hope Egypt do a number on Ivory Coast, because the sooner we get Sangare back and a more settled team where you know what your 1 to 11 is more or less going to be, although Jesus is going to be dead on his feet. I think the better. I think it gives Deitch a bit more of a chance, and hopefully gives us as supporters a bit more of a chance of thinking, yeah, we can go and get a few more results. We just need to stay up now, and then, like we say, reset. It's going to be up and down all the rest of the season on this pod. We're going to be squabbling. We're going to be laughing. We're probably going to be crying. And that's just the way it is as a Forest supporter. I mean, it's
I'm hoping as well we can get a striker in before Arsenal, because then that'll take some strain off Jesus, because we've got Braga in the week after, haven't we?
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh yeah, he's got to do.
Taiwo likes playing Arsenal, doesn't he? Get him in. Right. Well, anything else that you want to say before we leave, Danny?
No, I'm good. Enjoyed it.
Good.
And go out and enjoy the weather. I know it's nice and sunny.
Yeah.
No, I'm exasperated, mate, as it is. So we'll leave it at
that. Thank you very much for everyone that's got in touch and got involved in the comments. Sorry I couldn't go through absolutely all of them. When you're in the flow of conversation, it's just hard to drop something in like that. I hope you understand. 225 people in the chat. Thank you very much that you got involved in the Slept on It thoughts, and everyone that got and to our sponsors, Vesta Blinds and Trent Side Fred. So do check them out. But until next time, we might bring you a bit of an Arsenal chat beforehand amongst ourselves. But until then, we'll announce it on socials.
Can you do your little subscribe button? Pop it up.
Yeah, I'll do that. Little subscribe button, like and subscribe. It's all free. Also, I would like to know who shouted at me and Reese in the car park in Sainsbury's yesterday and said, "Are we doing a pod?" I
thought it was a Wrexham fan about to give us some abuse.
Bring yourself.
Probably got me line up to it. Oh, enjoy your cup final win.
Make yourselves known. We'd like to know.
How many times did Ryan Reynolds get shown on telly, Danny?
Oh, mate, I'm going to say something that I'm not. But I reckon Darren Fletcher had a room for 2 for him and him. But no, it was like you say. But it is the story, innit? And like you say, the positive is for your lads, you got a nice day at a ground. That's what we spoke about before me and Adam. I mean, Adam was on. That's what football is in the big scheme, innit? You've gone to a ground. It was an exciting ground to go to, wasn't it, for you all?
The far touch line looked like a big metal girder.
Yeah,
so that was
it. Yeah, we had a great trip up, didn't we? 2 hours, we've done it in, no issues.
Yeah. And it's like
lovely meal for 2, candle lit. Yeah. It was great.
It's a bit like you say, it's a bit of a different one as well, because I know it sounds daft, but you've gone to a pub which you've seen on telly. Do you know what I mean? It's like them little things where they're just little nice souvenirs, aren't they? So yeah, the scheme of it was just a shame we didn't get the result. So keep positive. We always keep positive, don't we? It's just odd at times this season.
Well, Daniel Hall is coming from Australia to see Brentford and Ferencváros. And he says, hope to see you at the NAV. So yeah, Dan, come and say hello. We'll have a drink with you, have a chin wag. Don't talk to Christian about the cricket because his head will roll off. But yeah, other than that, come and say hello. But no, thank you very much for everyone joining us. Hope you all have a lovely weekend. Till we see you next time, probably for an Arsenal chat. Come on, you Reds.